I immediately came to the studio. He played one guitar riff. I was like, let's just work on that. And then I wrote the hook to Nightstand. And we finished the song, and we recorded a video in the studio. And I posted it on TikTok when I landed. And the next morning, it was just insane. It had like 1 million views or something like that.
This podcast is about you and your journey in music, and we'll talk about the new records you have coming out.
Sweet.
Cool. I did read you're born in Seattle.
Yeah, born and raised in Seattle. I moved to North Carolina when I was 14.
Okay, talk to me about being born and raised in Seattle.
Seattle was really great. I loved everybody there. I love the people. I love the environment. It was, it's really green out there. People say it rains a lot, but it like sprinkles. It like rains more per year in North Carolina than it does in Seattle. A lot of people get the wrong idea.
Really?
Yeah, they get the wrong idea that it is always raining there. It's always overcast, but it's mainly sprinkling. But I liked it. I loved out there. Yeah, no, it's not like downpouring.
Were you in the city in Seattle?
I was just outside. I lived in a small town, a smaller the town than I live in here in Raleigh.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What was it like? How is it like? How far were you from the city? I mean, you said
it was like 45 minutes. It was like 45
okay.
minutes. Yeah.
But you were in a small town. What was that like?
Yeah. It was. I mean, it was nice. Everybody knew everybody, so it was like small town vibes, and I was used to it my whole life. So when I moved to Raleigh, it wasn't too different, but it was still larger than the town I lived in over in Seattle.
Okay, so it was a little bit bigger town, but still a small town.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. And when did you get into music?
I got into music once I moved. I didn't know anybody when I got into my high school, obviously, so I was just like really alienated. And so I just turned to music. I got really inspired by the hip hop side, like the lyrical hip hop side of music. So that inspired me to start writing music myself and rapping in my closet.
Okay, so before that, you didn't play an instrument or anything like up till
No,
14?
I didn't play. I still barely know how to play a guitar. I was inspired by the songwriting aspect of things. That's what really kick started my inspiration.
Okay, and at 14, you started writing songs?
Yeah.
And what were you doing? Recording them and putting them up on like SoundCloud or something? Like,
I was posting. Yeah, I was posting a lot of music on SoundCloud over like YouTube beats that I found and stuff. But it all sounded. It was like recorded over my Apple headphones through like some website on my computer. So it was like really crappy sounding.
Okay. How long did you do that?
But it was fun.
Yeah,
I did that. I did that for up until like a year from now.
Really?
So,
okay.
Yeah, so a year from now, I built a studio in the house that I was living in at the time while I was selling cars. I had 2 roommates. We had a laundry room, and I turned it into a studio. I got linked up with a good friend of mine. His name's Kurt. We went to the same high school together, but we never really linked up until about a year ago. And he started helping me with like the engineering side of things, and I started experimenting more, and we started the studio together, and everything just kept going up from there.
Wow. Wow. Were you showing anyone your songs when you were in high school? Like the songs you're doing on SoundCloud?
Yeah, I would post them like on my Snapchat sometimes, and I would just tell my friends to listen to them. But I wasn't like doing the full artist thing, like go check out my new song type of thing. I was just doing it for fun.
Okay, it was just a fun thing that.
Yeah, I just enjoyed writing songs.
Right. And was anyone else in your family musical?
My uncle was really musical. He was in a band. My mom was a singer at the church, and she like really a music theory head. She knows everything there is to know about it.
Really?
And yeah, and my dad wasn't like super musical. He always talked to me about how he wanted to be an A&R growing up because he just liked listening to music, and he put me on to a lot of the music he listened to, like Pearl Jam and Linkin Park and Green Day and bands like that. And so, but yeah, my family is really really musical on my mom's side, at least.
That's cool. So you remember like seeing her sing in church and everything?
Yeah, and she would play the piano, and like I would sing some of the songs that she would do at church at our house and stuff. It was fun.
Oh, wow. That's really cool. What was the first, like, once you start posting stuff on SoundCloud and doing that through high school, like, what was the first, bit of, success you saw?
It wasn't up until about a year ago when I started everything. I didn't really see much success. There were times where I would pay like Adam 22. He would do these streams where he'd listen to your music, and I would pay like $100 to get my music up on this live stream that he was doing, and I got like a lot of plays from that on my SoundCloud. But other than that, it was up until like a year ago when I really started grinding on my TikTok that things really started going.
Oh, okay. So TikTok really helped
Yeah,
catapult everything.
yeah, TikTok was really the main thing that I use.
Did you want to be like, was this your dream to be an artist, like when you were in high
It,
school
w-
and stuff? Or
it was something I always like envisioned, like it would be like cool, like like just like talking to friends, like it'd be cool. Like, what if I was just like a famous rapper or something, and it was something like everyone. It was just cool to talk about, but it wasn't really like a goal or like in the line of sight up until about a year ago. About a year ago, everything changed. Like my whole perspective on everything just like totally did a 180, and so I saw like the versatility and how you could be a songwriter and not be an artist, and there's
Mhm.
other ways to make it in the industry without being like a superstar like Post Malone or something like that. Like you don't have to be like this big superstar in order to do what you want to do.
Mhm. When you built the studio, like how long ago was that? The one in the laundry room?
That was a year ago.
Oh, okay. So everything's did the studio come because there was some success on TikTok, or was it like, let's just take this the next step and build a
It was
studio in this room?
I had no musical success before I started the studio. It was just like I was just kind of like betting on myself. I was selling cars at the time when I started the studio, and
Mhm.
eventually I was just tired of selling cars and like going. I would commute an hour and a half to work from
Wow.
like 7 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock at night, and then come back home and like work at the studio. And so I got tired of it, and I just quit my job selling cars and put everything I had into the studio and just kept building it.
Okay. And so you go on TikTok, and then how does that start, and how does the people start hearing your music and it kind of taking off?
I just started posting videos of me like singing the songs that I was making in the studio at the time. And there was one song that I made called Replace You. It's one of the first songs in my discography. And my manager now at the time hit me up through Instagram and was like, yo, send me the song. And I sent him the song. He wanted to help me finish it. So he linked me up with a good friend of mine now, Jesse Fink and Brandon Shoup, to help remake the song and finish it. And so we did that. We did the whole campaign, and then after that, I linked up with Jesse up in New York, and then we did Nightstand, and everything just kept building from there. I built my relationship with Jesse and all the people over there in New York, and it's been great.
Wow. So the first song that you did really did it start growing on TikTok? Is that how this guy found you?
It wasn't growing on TikTok very much. There was one video that did fairly well, and then after that, like it didn't really do too crazy. I mean, it was the first like real success that I seen.
Mhm.
So it was a slow build up, but once we dropped Nightstand, that one did like 2 million views on TikTok, and started
Wow.
started going pretty crazy. And then um, after that song, I went back to New York and we did Real Life Sucks, and that did even more than Nightstand. That did like 6 million,
Uh-huh.
and then we just kept repeating the same process over and over again until we got to now.
Wow. So after that first one and then tell me about getting this message. Was it like, wow, like this could be a real thing for me? Like it's finally happening. Like what were you thinking when you got, or was it like this guy is fake? Like this isn't real.
It was so I was really skeptical at first because I didn't know who he was at the time, and he told me who he managed and what he did, and we talked over FaceTime.
Mhm.
And when I spoke to him over FaceTime, he just seemed like a super genuine guy. Like my first read on him, like I can read people like when I first meet them, and so he was just like a really down to earth guy. He cared about me. He cared about my music from the very grip, and he just wanted to help me, build my career, and that's what he did. So immediately I was like, all right, let's do it. I got really nothing to lose at this point.
Mhm. And then so you get some success from Replace You, and then when you do Nightstand, did you like was it something where you're like, how are we gonna follow up Replace You? Is this song gonna do as well? Like, did you have any nervous feelings where what
Well,
happens if this next one doesn't work like the first one did?
well, it was more of just like I was just kind of, and we still do it now. I was just kind of living day by day,
Uh-huh.
just like doing things however we want to do them, and just like not really focusing much on like is this song going to do well, is it going to do well, just like posting the songs, and if it does well then it does well. And Nightstand was one of the songs. Like I went to New York and I was supposed to be in the studio for like 2 to 3 days, but Jesse got food poisoning from some bad pad thai, and I was only able to go to the studio for like 3 hours the whole time I was in New York. and I immediately came to the studio. He played one guitar riff. I was like, let's just work on that. And then I wrote the hook to Nightstand, and we finished the song, and we recorded a video in the studio, and I posted it on TikTok when I landed, and the next morning it was just insane. It had like 1 million views or something like that.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, then we finished the song, put it out, and then just kept doing that.
That's crazy. So was this, you said a year ago, so COVID had happened. So what were you doing going into that? Like you just were selling cars and trying to write songs?
Yeah, I was selling cars and living like in like a low income house area. Like I still kind of am living in a income house area just to, because rent is super affordable,
Mm-hmm.
and just doing what I want to do because I didn't want to live with my parents and I didn't want to go to college. So I had to figure it out. So when I quit my job, I had really nothing. I wasn't really getting paid from selling cars that much
Mm-hmm.
because I had just started selling cars. So like getting into selling cars, you don't actually make commission on the cars you sell until you like finish your training or whatever. So I was
Oh,
just I was
interesting.
just making like a weekly. I was making
Like
like
hourly
four. Yeah,
rate
I
or
was making
something?
like $400 or $500 a week, just being there, training every day, learning how to be a car salesman. And right before I got to the point where I was like gonna start being like a legit car salesman and like selling cars and making the big money, I was like, no, I can't do this every day. I can't sit in this office and stare out and wait for somebody to walk in every single day. So I
Sure.
just I just left and did everything I could to
But Did
get
was
around.
did COVID happen by that time? I mean, I would
COVID,
imagine like that would be
yeah,
a hard job to have if no
yeah,
one's going
COVID
outside.
happened in March. In March while I was in college, and I dropped out of college. And when I dropped out of college, I was actually pressure washing. I started pressure washing and doing that. I had been doing that with since I was 16. I was just pressure washing, doing odd jobs, and then I found the car salesman job and realized I was making enough money to move out of my house, and I did.
Mhm.
And yeah, I was just working, man,
Mhm. That's
and it
crazy.
just
I mean, to see those numbers, like how, I mean, would you ever imagine, like, at fourteen,
not at all.
15, that you're going to be putting out a record that has, 10 plus million streams on it? And
No, I had no idea where this was all gonna go. I was just kind of winging it from the beginning. I'm still kind of winging it.
what was it like going to a big studio for the first time? I mean, from a laundry room closet to probably a really expensive, nice studio.
I mean, it was definitely, I was kind of starstruck at the beginning, just like, but my head was focused. Like I was in the zone. I was like, we need to make the next song, and we did, and
Mhm.
it just all worked out. So I was really just about like believing in myself, pretty much, as corny as it sounds.
Right. Did you have stuff ready, like a notebook, or you just going into these things blind? Like, okay, well, let's gotta figure out what's
Yeah,
gonna
let's figure
happen.
it. It's really just we ride the vibe. Whatever we're feeling, whatever we're feeling goes.
Wow. Okay. So
Sometimes I have notes. Like I'll write stuff down. Like I'm going throughout my day. If like something like pops in my head, I'll like write it down in my notes and go back to it later.
Mhm.
But
Okay.
mainly it's just flying blind.
Flying blind. Okay.
Yeah.
That's really rad. And I mean, obviously you followed it up and followed it up and followed it up. Real Life Sucks did 13 million. And as your songs go, I mean, Bad Day is on Spotify is like almost 36 million plays.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's just the amount that we've built in such a short period of time is just crazy to me. It's hard to wrap my head around still now.
Yeah. I mean, do you have like a record coming out? Like what's the plan moving forward?
So after Cool Kids, we're planning on dropping like probably two more singles before I drop the project early next year,
Hmm.
which is called Lifelong Daydream.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm not sure exactly how many songs are going to be on it. I don't think there's going to be more than 10 songs on it, but
Okay.
Bad Day and Cool Kids will be on it.
Very, very cool. And you have videos for both songs?
For
You have a bad day.
Bad Day and Cool Kids, we have videos for both of those songs.
What was it like shooting a music video?
So the first music video I shot for Nightstand in Colorado,
Hmm.
and it was like I mean, like I said, I fly blind, so I just can't. I went to Colorado just with a little vision on what to do, and somebody that I had, it was a friend of a friend, videographer, that did the video, and ever since then it's just been it feels so natural to me. Like I feel like I'm exactly where I want to be, exactly where I want to be. So like the nerves kind of go away, the anxiousness goes away. Like when I'm doing what I want to do, it's just I just have a good time. I'm just having fun.
Hmm. And do you help with the concept of the videos and all of that?
Yeah, like the Cool Kids video we did, it was a Ferris Bueller style video, which
Hmm.
I watched Ferris Bueller for the first time not too long ago, like right before we did the video with my friend Remy, who actually helped me write Cool Kids and Bad Day. And we were watching Ferris Bueller, and he was like, "This would be such a cool like music video spinoff because there's so many like iconic scenes from Ferris Bueller that people would be able to recognize."
Hmm.
So I was just like, "Let's do Cool Kids, like let's make it Ferris Bueller," and we did it, and it turned out really dope.
That's cool. Yeah, the video is awesome. I had a chance to check it out. When did you meet Remy? I've interviewed him for this show before.
Remy, I met when we did Real Life Sucks.
Okay.
I
And was
met
that
for
just
the first time.
somebody that you got put in a room with as a songwriter or?
Yeah, he's friends with Jesse too, and Brandon. They all work together. So they linked me up with him, and we hit it off, and now we're boys.
That's cool. That's cool. So are you constantly writing songs?
Always. Like I just try like if an idea will pop in my head, and I've been learning how to play the guitar so I could write more original songs in my room. And people will send me beats and stuff, and I'll just sit and write songs because I still love to do it. So I mean, as much as it is like my job now, I still love writing songs. So every day I'm trying to come up with different song ideas.
Mhm. Are you still working out of your laundry room studio?
I moved from the laundry room down the street to a little townhouse, and the studio is now in my living room. But I do mainly my vocal cutting right here, just
Oh, on that
sitting. I have
mic.
yeah, I have a computer and a monitor right in front of me, so I can just cut vocals and send them to producers and stuff to do chops or whatever, or just mess around.
That's awesome. So you started a studio though, right? This one that you're talking about?
Yeah. It's called One Media. We
Hmm.
started it, in the laundry room, and now it's in a
It's a
living room.
thing, right? Wow.
It is a thing. It was the reason I was able to pay rent because we were charging people to come in and record music over like YouTube beats and stuff, and mixing and mastering for all these people, and it just turned into a business, and it helped me pay my rent. It helped Kurt, quit his job at Walmart so that he could be a producer full time, and everything worked out, and it's still building to this day. We get more and more bookings every single day.
Really? So are you working with these artists or like how involved are you with the studio?
The studio, I kind of like overlook everything. My roommate right now, he manages the studio, and he handles like the booking and texting people, letting people know like the rules and stuff like that. I just kind of overlook everything. Before it was me doing like all the promotion, getting people in the studio, getting the booking set up, but now he does it so that I can like go travel and work on my music and stuff. And
Mhm.
he gets a percentage of everything. I pay him, and I pay Kurt to engineer.
Wow. And was this like was it hard to get it off the ground? I would imagine that's probably a hard venture to start.
Yeah, when I quit my job selling cars, I we had like 25 followers on Instagram. The studio
Okay.
page did, and Kurt knew a lot of people that wanted to record at the time. He had a lot of people that he knew that made music. So we had, a few people come in here and then, and it just, it kept building. Word of mouth is works really fast.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, for sure.
now we just get steady bookings, and he's able to make his money and pay his bills.
It's incredible. And then you had a chance to quit the car job as well, just selling the cars. But that was done
Yeah,
before you had any success?
yeah, it was done. I bet everything on myself, and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Have you had a chance to do a live show?
Yeah, I got a chance to do a live show with. Are you familiar with Western Estate?
Mm-mm.
Well, they're a small band. They're actually based out of North Carolina, but they did a small tour, and one of the stops was Atlanta. So I drove down to Atlanta and opened for them, and that was my first time like performing in front of like a full crowd, and it was super fun.
Yeah, how was that? How'd you prepare for that?
So I had previously gotten booked for this really small festival in North Carolina, which like I went to perform at. I don't count it as a performance because I like it got like the cops shut it down. The cops shut it down like in the middle of my set and
Oh,
everything.
wow.
It was just bonkers. So
Was it like
I
a
had
permit thing or were you guys just like
I
how
don't
did
know. They had like a time that they were supposed to end the festival, and I was the last performance because I was headlining it.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, so I was the last performance, and by that time, like the sets had taken up too much time, so they cut us off mid set. But I mean, I still got paid for it, so I wasn't mad.
Yeah. Do you enjoy performing live?
I love it. I love it. It's super surreal. The first time I did it at that festival, there was like literally 12 people standing in front of me, and it was a little difficult. But once I got to Atlanta and we had the full crowd, and I was able to actually play with the crowd and get hype, it was super fun. I had the time of my life.
How do you do the live show? Do you have somebody DJing for you?
Yeah, yeah. For that show, we had someone DJing because it was so last minute, and we
Hmm.
we don't have a band prepared or anything. But the next shows that I do, I'll probably do a support tour here soon. We'll have a full band.
Yeah, I was gonna say because your songs are like, yeah, guitar driven, and like
Yeah,
it's not like it's just you're just top lining over
yeah,
a beat or something.
yeah. We need an actual band in there to get things lifted.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I love the sound. The record sounds awesome. I
Thank you.
mean, the songs that you're putting out now. And it sounds like you have more to come.
Yeah, a lot more to come. So much more.
That's really cool. Is it? I mean, you must be excited. I mean, this must be a really exciting time to be a year in, and you're seeing these numbers and the success.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I would have never imagined it, but now that I'm here, it's just like I just got to keep going. I can't look back or do anything like that. But I do tend to sit and just kind of take it all in sometimes.
Yeah, like seeing the first hits of the like a million views. Like, what was like? I mean, I can't even like imagine seeing my phone and then seeing like a notification like that. Was it just like,
Yeah,
what is happening? Like, did
yeah.
you?
I was just like, damn. I wasn't like it wasn't super like I wasn't like bawling my eyes out or anything, but it was just crazy to see all the people that actually like my music and resonate with it and connect with it on the same level that I do. Because I
Mhm.
love listening to my music, and I wouldn't make music if I didn't enjoy listening to it, and just to see everybody else enjoy it. It's like we're all homies.
Very cool. I love it. And I love the songs you're doing, like I said, and I appreciate you doing this interview. I have one more quick question. I want to know if you have any advice for aspiring artists.
My advice, and this is advice I give every time somebody asks me this question, is just do it. A lot of people, the only thing that's holding them back is themselves. They don't believe in themselves. They don't believe they can actually do it. Once you get down and you actually grind and you do it, good things will come. Only good things will come.